Hey, what's up everyone? Lord Ryujin here, bringing you another YouTube video. Let's just cut straight to the chase on this. Now this is coming fresh out, so forgive me if this turns out to be false news or a fake article or something like that, but news is now coming out that Satoru Iwata of Nintendo has died and passed away. I don't know all the details at this time. If this is in fact true, I wish to give my condolences to all the family and everyone that knew Satoru Iwata. I'm actually saddened by the news myself. Satoru Iwata has been a huge part of me. I mean, if you look at any game that Nintendo has made over the past few years, you will probably see Satoru Iwata's name somewhere within the credits of that game. Not to mention the fact that he has kept Nintendo afloat, bringing many new ideas, and to me, he was one of the last bastions, if that's the proper word to use, of gaming, focusing more on making sure that a game system was a game system rather than being a multimedia device like some companies that begin with an M want to try to do. Now, I'm not here to knock any other company. I'm just saying that I prefer Nintendo because of that. Now, where Nintendo will go from here is anyone's guess. They could easily hire in somebody, maybe bring up Miyamoto or somebody else who's been a game developer before as the new president. Maybe they're bringing somebody new. I don't really know, but I want to talk about this. I'm going to say some very, very negative things. I'm going to say some very positive things. I'm worried about the next Nintendo system now, Project NX. I worry that if they do bring in new blood, that they are going to try to turn more into the Sony and Microsoft camp and become more about money and become more about let's make Nintendo Network a paid subscription. Let's lock content onto the disc and make people pay for it, and become the sort of douchey, scumbaggy stuff that people out there seem to really talk down about in regards to Sony and Microsoft, but yet they don't praise Nintendo in any way for doing that. Now, hopefully that will not come to pass, and I'm going to hold judgment on that until the NX is released and more information is released about it. But I feel like I have something to say. Shame on all of you out there. I have read some very negative comments in regards to, like, oh, well, the dark days of Nintendo are lifted. Oh, praise, now they can... How dare you? You disrespectful, scumbag pieces of shit! A man has fucking died! How would you like it if Phil Spencer died tomorrow and I go, yay! Phil Spencer's dead! That is what it's like! You are... Regardless of what you think of Nintendo, and regardless of what I think of Microsoft, Sony, Atari, Sega, regardless of what I think of any company, you know, I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. I don't really care for EA. I don't care for EA at all. But if I heard that the president and CEO of EA died, I would bow my head and pay my respects, because that is what civilized human beings do. And I think that it's shameful, actually, the amount of likes that some of these things are getting. I don't know what's worse, actually, the fact that Satoru Iwata is dead, or the fact that there are 4,000-5,000 people that are thumbs-upping these articles and talking like this. It's just like, a man is dead. You should not like that at all, regardless of what you think about Nintendo. I mean, in a way, I can get it. You maybe thought that Satoru Iwata, even though your opinion is wrong, you may have thought that Satoru Iwata was holding Nintendo back. And in a way, yeah, I can see that, but you also have to understand that there are board members, there are committee members, there are more people involved behind the curtains. That's just like saying that Phil Spencer is the only one that brought Microsoft back, even though I'm sure that there is a chain of command that they have to go through and programmers that they have to talk to get this stuff the way that it is. But at the same time, though, yeah, is it a good opportunity to bring in some fresh blood and maybe get Nintendo back on to the glory days? Yes. but also no. Because, as I've said in other videos, you people are wrong. You don't see the way I see. You think just because Mr Iwata is dead, that now maybe third-party support will come over to Nintendo. And I've talked about this in the past. It doesn't matter what Nintendo does. It comes down to the developers. Because I was going to do an article. I was going to do a video on an article that I saw about, you know, is the Wii U not doing as well because of its lack of RPGs? And I thought, no, because that comes down to the developer. Again, it doesn't matter. Nintendo could throw out a $5,000 piece of hardware, and it's technically capable of doing all of this stuff. But if a third-party developer goes, nope, I'm not going to develop for it, see you, what can Nintendo do? Throw money at them? Let me give you a good example. Do you think that Microsoft wants Street Fighter V? Do you think that Microsoft really wants to have Street Fighter V? Yeah. Do you think that any amount of money they throw at Capcom is going to get them Street Fighter V? No. Because Capcom has even said it's not coming to the Xbox One. At least that's what they're saying now. Now, there's no telling if that will change in a year or two, granted, but that's what they're saying as of now. And that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Just because Nintendo comes out with new hardware, or because they bring in fresh blood, get a new president, bring in a whole bunch of new programmers, it's not going to change anything if third-party developers don't want to develop for the hardware. But getting back onto the track that I was getting on, and I apologize for getting off on that rant. I'm so... I don't know what to think. Mr Iwata is dead. I mean, I heard that he was sick, but supposedly he had gotten into better health and everything like that. And you know, I mean, it explains why we haven't been really seeing him a lot lately, because I don't think he showed up a whole lot at the E3 presentation and all that. But it's still sad. It would be just as sad as if Hideo Kojima died, or Shigeru Miyamoto. You know, you're talking about somebody that was a part of gaming history, the person that I grew up with, and the person that many people grew up knowing about. One of the big gaming icons is gone, and I don't know what else to say. I mean, a gaming grade is gone. You know, there's a lot of games, I'm sure you can look it up yourself, that Mr Iwata has been a part of, and I'm sure that those games will live on. And just like if Miyamoto were to pass away, every time I play the Legend of Zelda game, I think of Miyamoto. Every time that those games that again, I'm so flabbergasted, my mind just can't think straight right now. That Mr Iwata was a part of, I will continue to think of him fondly. But seriously, condolences to everyone at Nintendo that worked with him directly. Condolences to friends and family members of Mr Iwata, and hopefully this is only a slight bit of a darkness in the overall light. Hopefully we can get back on track, and I don't know. But regardless of where Nintendo goes from here, and it's just, Mr Iwata will be missed. Mr Iwata, rest in peace, and I have a lot of respect for you. I always have, and I always will. But to all the naysayers out there that are thumbs-upping these articles and talking about good riddance, screw you, and shame on you. You wouldn't like that if it was your father that died and someone came over and started dancing on his coffin talking about good riddance. Be respectful. Regardless of your opinions of Nintendo, and regardless of whatever you think might happen, whether this is the end of Nintendo because now they're not going to focus on gaming consoles anymore, they're going to focus more on being like Konami and Sony and trying to look at other outlets other than just gaming, or whether you think that this is a good opportunity for them to be better again and get back to maybe the Super Nintendo days, even though I don't think they're ever going to get there, as I've explained earlier. Regardless though, be respectful. be kind, and let us all say, let's all have a moment of silence to think back on the great things that Mr Iwata has done. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching. I'm not even going to ask you to comment, because I'm sure that there'll be nothing but negativity, which I will promptly erase. So, otherwise, guys, just wanted to throw that out there and share my thoughts on it. I'm sorry that I got a little bit out of control earlier. I don't like it when people do that. You know, regardless of what you think of a person, someone has passed, and somebody is mourning, and somebody is sad, and to be disrespectful like that is wrong, regardless of what you think of the person, whether you loved him or hated him. But that's my 2 cents on the matter, guys. Thanks for watching, as always. Rest in peace, Mr Iwata, and I'll see you next time.